You guys want to hear something insane? LSAT prep can actually be simple. The LSAT can be easy. A lot of prep companies will overcomplicate it by over-categorizing things into literally dozens of different categories, but you don't need to understand some complicated taxonomy in order to understand the LSAT. You don't need those 500-page LSAT prep phone books to break down just one section of the LSAT. I'm going to break down logical reasoning for you here into two major categories. There are question types where the answer choices give you new information, and there are question types where they don't give you new information. That's it. Of course, you can drill the roughly 15 types of logical reasoning questions if you want to by question stem type, but you can just group them into these two major categories. Some questions give you new information in the choices. They'll say something like, which one of the following, if true, would strengthen or weaken or be sufficient to guarantee the argument, for example. In contrast, there are question types where they don't give you new information. In those cases, they won't say which one of the following, if true, would most strengthen or weaken or be an assumption sufficient to guarantee the argument. That's it. Every single type of logical reasoning question can be grouped into one of these two categories. Now, there are, of course, some types that are more common than others. The three most common types of logical reasoning questions are necessary assumption, inference, and flaw. So I want you to make sure that you have nailed down the proper perspective from which to view each of these three most common question types. Get the low-hanging fruit, knock it out, focus on this first before dealing with those rare types that hardly ever come up, and definitely don't spend any time thinking about the writing sample, which is of course unscored, until you've got these three question types down. Of course, you do want to make sure that you have a plan of attack that lays out for you exactly what to do so that you're not falling into the trap of taking test after test, spinning your wheels without improving. And so at LSAT Unplugged, we create personalized day-by-day study plans for all of our students to remove the guesswork about what to do, to make sure that you're getting those low-hanging fruit question types down first, but of course that you are eventually getting to all the other types of questions as well, so that nothing at all will surprise you when you walk in there on LSAT test day itself. If you're interested in finding out more about joining one of our programs to help give you that plan of attack so that you can score in the 170s and beyond, check out the link below this video to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. Now, aside from knowing the proper perspective from which to view each section and each question type, you also want to make sure that you are reviewing your mistakes in depth, that you are reviewing all the questions that you get wrong or have difficulty with properly. And so I've developed a framework for this called the Socratic Review Method to help you do just that. And the long story short, what you want to do is walk through each element of the question. So in logical reasoning, for example, you want to look at the argument in the stimulus, you want to look at the question stem, and you also want to look at the answer choices. You want to look at what specifically led you astray. Was it a tempting wrong answer? Was it an unappealing right answer? Was it something complicated or confusing about the stimulus itself? Was the question stem worded in a unique way? Wherever your mistake stemmed from, you want to go deep on that. You want to articulate it and extract that key insight from your review process so that you can avoid making the same mistake again. Now, of course, in our classes, we'll walk you through this process. In our one-on-one coaching, we'll hold your hand and guide you through this process on the toughest questions you've encountered. But you want to figure out of all the things that make an LSAT question difficult, which specific elements are the ones that are maybe revealing a gap in your understanding. Are you having difficulty identifying evidence versus conclusion in the absence of key indicator words? Are you having difficulty with conditionality? Whatever it is, we want to hone in on that and extract the key insight so that you won't make that same mistake again, because the LSAT, of course, repeats itself again and again and again in different disguises, whether the topic is heart disease or climate change or speed limits or cigarette smoking, whatever it is. We want you to be crystal clear and have a plan of attack on how to address that issue so that it does not repeat itself in the future. Anyway, folks, that's all for now. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.